As a Christian man, have you ever had those moments in your walk where you just hear and feel nothing? Hearing nothing from God and not feeling His presence in anything you do? I know personally in my experience, I could be doing everything right in my own eyes, right? And then I try to pray, and it just feels like there's like a cloud shielding my vision to God and just not being able to connect. I can't be alone in this, right? If you're feeling like this, that's why I made this video. There's three key pillars that I want to help point out to y'all that will help you get over this God block, per se, that is keeping you from hearing Him and possibly even leading you into sin. And if you don't get all three of these things down, you might be back here at square one again. So please watch until the end. All right, let's get into it. First pillar here is the main scripture today. That is James 4:8. Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Well, there it is. Plain as day. Video over. Bye. Just kidding, but really, there's the short and sweet of it. If we're having trouble hearing from Him, then what do? We draw closer to Him. It only makes sense. The Father won't always go out of His way to talk to you or be in your presence if you're going where He's not even being welcomed. That can mean a physical location, a worldly mindset, or an engaging in an emotion that is not a fruit of the Spirit. So, with that being said, how can we draw closer to Him? Well, this actually brings us to the second pillar of the video. The three main activities that you can do right this second, not this second, after this video to draw to Him is pray, read the Word, and be around other believers, like our group that we have in the description, but more on that later. Your inputs determine your outputs. You cannot be strong on your godly path and ready to go against the world day in and day out if you're not doing all or at least one of these three things. If you're doing these three things consistently every day, then you will start to get back in tune with the Father, guaranteed. But, and this is the third and final pillar, if you have been doing all these consistently and you still aren't feeling much or anything, then it's for a reason. We see it in the rough waters with Peter and Jesus, God using that moment as a test of faith for him, and Peter failed, but you don't have to. God could be seeing your heart and testing your faith to see if it will crumble with just the faintest bit of silence from Him. This has happened to me many times, and honestly, sometimes I have not handled it the best. But now that you know this, you can equip yourself with this knowledge as a Christian man when you're in those moments of temptation, doubt, and anger. You can now know that you're being watched and He is there at all times, of course, but He might just be observing your actions in that moment instead of directing them. Trust me, like, I know it can be so hard to not hear from Him when you are so used to being in such close communication all the time. But if this is you, we just have to be obedient and be faithful. We must still keep His commandments and still carrying out the three things I mentioned. Because from that point on, upon passing those trials comes so much wisdom and blessing from Him that is unattainable through any other means in my personal experience. Let me know how y'all feel about this concept, as well as tell me how close you feel with Him right now. How are you guys doing? Are you doing all three of the things I mentioned? Let me hear from you in the comments. If you go back to the first pillar and you are not doing as well as you want on the three inputs that you could be doing right now to be closer to God, I actually have a solution for you. I would love to invite you to our community, Next Gen Men. This is actually the #1 most active Christian men's community on the internet that has people asking questions, learning from each other, being in fellowship, and guest speakers that will speak life into you as a Christian man living in this crazy world today. With that being said, hope to see you in there soon, and thanks for watching. God bless.